มาติดตามฟังกันต่อนะคะความคิดของลอร์ดพัตนัมค่ะอดีตผู้กำกับหนังชื่อดังนะคะซึ่งเป็นผู้ได้รับรางวัลออสการ์เคยเดินทางเข้ามาเมืองไทยอย่างต่อเนื่องนะคะและใช้เมืองไทยเป็นสถานที่ถ่ายทำภาพยนตร์ดังนะคะ The Killing Fields หรือว่าทุ่งสังหารลอร์ดเดวิดพัตนัมบอกกับดิฉันนะคะว่าในช่วง 40 ปีที่ผ่านมาเดินทางเข้ามาประเทศไทยไม่ต่ำกว่า 20 ครั้งได้เห็นความเปลี่ยนแปลงการพัฒนาโดยเฉพาะทางด้านเศรษฐกิจที่เกิดขึ้นในประเทศไทยนะคะดิฉันเลยถามว่าช่วงนี้ประเทศไทยกำลังก้าวเข้าสู่ความเป็นประชาคมอาเซียนคนไทยจำนวนหนึ่งอาจจะยังกังวลว่าอัตลักษณ์ความเป็นไทยอาจจะกำลังถูกกลืนเข้าไปสู่กับกระแสการพัฒนาสู่ความทันสมัยสู่กระแสโลกาภิวัตน์แล้วการให้การศึกษาแบบยุคใหม่อย่างที่ลอร์ดพัตนัมกำลังพยายามบุกเบิกจะช่วยรักษาอัตลักษณ์ของคนไทยไว้ได้อย่างไรลอร์ดพัตนัมมีความคิดที่อาจจะช่วยติดอาวุธทางความคิดได้ค่ะ
I think that one of the great dangers of the modern world is the sense there's a false choice that either you are a modern person and reject your culture or you are someone who clings passionately to your culture and rejects modernity. The world isn't going to be like that. The truth is that confident nations, I keep using that word, it's interesting, it's a very important word. Confident nations will be able to embrace the future and be very, very sure about their values and their traditions and the things that were important and that made that nation great. I certainly feel this is true in the UK. I think it'd be particularly true in a country like Thailand because you've got a monarchy, you have an inbuilt sense of respect in your DNA. I don't see that being got rid of at all. So I think the idea of a strong modern nation will be one which is culturally confident and keeps its values in place whilst at the same time embracing the opportunities that the 21st century offers as larger groups of nations.
What's the factor that can give a nation more confidence amidst the very competitive situation in the world?
I think leadership. Countries need to be well led. They have to believe in their leadership. I think the quality of democracy is very, very important. It's not just the fact we're quite complacent about democracy. Democracy is quite a fragile thing. So I think the depth and quality of the democracy that you have, a belief in the future, and the fact that you have leaders who seem to understand, have a grasp of the future, not just dealing with next week's news or tomorrow's news. I think those are important. And I think that one of the reasons I'm so obsessed with the teaching force, confidence breeds confidence. If a teacher is confident, their students will become confident. So you've got to make sure that you're teaching, your teachers, nation's teachers, are confident people.
You are very well acquainted with Southeast Asia. Your film Killing Fields in 1984 is a very good example. How have you seen changes in this region so far?
It's been dramatic in some senses. I mean, when I first came to Bangkok in 1966, this was a city of klongs. It was a klong city. I moved around on the water and I was really enchanted. And then when I came back to work here in 82, 83, obviously a lot of changes had taken place. And then I've seen those changes, it's been up and down a bit. I've just watched a nation develop. But what I love about the Thais is their sense of their Thai-ness. The Thais are very specific people. And I had a dream at one point. I never did it. There was a marvelous book, Dependent. And I always thought it would make a marvelous, fantastic television series, which would be really interesting in the West, to understand what that culture was, how it worked, what the levels of respect were, how people live their daily lives, their ordinary lives. And I still have a dream that maybe that Thailand can develop simultaneously as a very important 21st century nation, but that the rest of the world can understand where that came from. You know, in Britain, we are seeped on television, absolutely seeped with our Elizabethan history. I mean, it's an everyday occurrence, or our, even more recently, Edwardian history. I'd like to feel I could live even maybe 1 week of my life in Thailand in the 1840s, 1850s, because I think if the West understood what it was, they'd have a deeper appreciation of what it's become.
Why do you think if the West understand history, the essence of the country that will be good for Thailand?
I just strongly feel that the West doesn't understand what an extraordinary culture existed in this country 200 years ago. It sees the Thai smile, and it knows that you're very nice to tourists, and the weather's nice, and you have a fantastic harvest 2-3 times a year. But it doesn't really understand where Thai culture came from, and where that particular attitude to life came from. And that is demonstrable. I mean, we are able to make, you have very good Thai movie makers. It is absolutely possible to find a way of allowing the audiences to identify with that.
And that will enhance our confidence and
It would enhance
identity.
your confidence in terms of where, absolutely, it would enhance your confidence of where you come from. And you're then able to say, I am one of those. I am a direct descendant of those people, of those struggles, of those changes, of that development, of what King Chulalongkorn went through. It wasn't just Anna and the King of Siam, it was more complicated than that. No, I think you've still not presented yourself, in my terms, you've still not presented yourself as well as you can to the West in terms of the deep, deep culture that exists in this country.
ยังทำงานอย่างสดชื่นนะคะในวัย 72 ปีของหลอร์ดพัตนัมค่ะ ช่วงท้ายดิฉันถามว่าจะหวนคืนสู่วงการสร้างภาพยนตร์หรือไม่หลอร์ดพัตนัมบอกว่าไม่เอาแล้วนะคะเพราะว่าตอนนี้หลงไหลในความเป็นนักการศึกษาดิฉันเลยถามต่อว่าแล้วมองเห็นอนาคตของตนเองอย่างไรหลอร์ดพัตนัมก็ตอบมาแบบน่ารักนะคะบอกว่าขอให้เป็นผู้สูงอายุที่มีคุณภาพค่ะ